Welcome to the Inspection Empire Builder podcast. On today's episode, we're talking about virtual assistants, staffing solutions, and how to grow your company with the right staff. You don't want to miss this episode. Well, welcome to the show. We're so glad you tuned in to IEB's podcast, Inspection Empire Builder. On today's episode, we have MyRA Staffing. The entire team from MyRA Staffing is here, a leadership team. Hey, guys, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Doing well.
Great. Thanks.
So good. I'm glad you guys, all you guys have been on the show at different times and now I got all three of you here at once. And for those in the audience who maybe aren't familiar with you guys, I just want to go around the horn. We'll start with Mike. Introduce yourself and what's your role with the company?
Yeah, I'm Mike Lovelady. I'm one of the original founders of MyRA Staffing. And my role is providing CRM support and oversight of the admin division.
Awesome. All right, let's go to Jeremy.
My name is Jeremy Lovelady, one of the founding members as well. And my role currently is marketing and then doing discovery calls with clients when they call and ask to try to learn a little bit more about what we do.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. And Will, how about you?
And I'm Will Meisgades. I'm adopted into the MyRA, leadership or ownership, I should say. I'm the interim CEO. And so I
interim CEO,
all about this world.
That's awesome. So interim CEO, does that mean you are transitioning into the full-time CEO? Or are you guys looking for a new CEO, or what are you guys doing there?
That means we are currently looking for a new CEO.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So, all right. So you're accepting applications right now?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. That's cool. Yeah. I don't want to be this. All right. So yeah, maybe we'll see a new CEO at MyRA soon. That's exciting. Yeah. Lots of big changes going on there. I know you guys have been growing. You guys have talked a little bit about that with me offline, that you guys have been growing a little bit. How's the journey been? When did you guys start the business, and how's the journey been growing?
Mike, Jeremy?
Yep. Started about 3 years ago. Just like any new business, related, like on a home inspection company, you skin your knees as you learn and you grow and you work out your systems and your operations, and each year gets better and better. Next year, there's a lot of new exciting things coming to MyRA, branching out in a whole bunch of different industries and services. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great journey.
And that's so true. When you're starting a business, it really doesn't matter what business it is. The first 2 to 3 years is pretty brutal. Like you're learning it's highly educational. How about that? Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I tend to learn more through mistakes than through successes. And I know starting my inspection business, every business I've started, the first few years is kind of like you say, getting your knees skinned and kind of making some rookie mistakes because you're a rookie and in that industry, right? And so you guys are at 3 years. That's pretty good. That's a big mile marker. A lot of businesses can't even make it past the first year. So to make it 3 years, congratulations. And you're growing. And there's exciting things happening there, which is pretty awesome. So what's the core of your business? What is it that MyRA Staffing does really well in the staffing space? Maybe I should pick people to kick it to since we got a crowd. All right. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike, what's the core thing that MyRA Staffing does?
So I think the core thing is our commitment to our vision and our core values. So our vision is we want everyone to thrive and not survive. That includes our virtual assistants, but it also includes our clients. And so we've kind of done that, and we've built our culture around that. Our core values, the acronym is IRATGG, and stands for integrity, respect, accountability, teamwork, growth, and gratitude. And so we really try to instill that into our support staff, our virtual assistants, and those are the kind of clients we want to partner with. And so when we are able to do that successfully, it really creates a great partnership on all three levels. The other thing that kind of separates us from is the vetting process. So we have a very stringent vetting process, including 2 assessments and 2 in-person interviews before they even present it to the client. And so by the time they get to the client, they've gone through a pretty stringent vetting process to make sure they're getting the best VAs for them.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've hired VAs over the years, off and on, for different projects, different companies, and there is a difference in the quality within the VAs that are out there. And so you guys are going through. So you probably have a whole pool of candidates now after 3 years of people kind of built up. And Will, would you say like that's what you guys do? Like you have a nice staffing pool?
The idea is to bring in as many VAs as possible on one side and have them on the bench and with their different qualifications. And then on the other side, we bring in the clients and we start matching them. The interesting thing that I'm learning is within the VA world, so those who work as a VA, they are learning more and more about MyRA. And so the name is becoming a buzz, as in it is hard to qualify. And so they're doing everything they can to learn whatever they need to learn in order to pass the different assessments that we give them. So we do tend to have higher quality VAs that we get to offer.
That's awesome. So Will, where are you guys finding most of your VAs? Where are they located at? Is there a common area of the globe, or is it sporadic?
So currently they're all in the Philippines.
Okay. And why the Philippines?
Well, Mike, Jeremy?
We were early introduced to VAs, as many home inspection companies, and early on we were paired with the VAs from another company, and they were utilizing Filipino staff. The motivator behind us creating was kind of Wally. He spoke at a conference about giving back and contributing, and I met with the VA on a Sunday, and they were doing a Google Earth tour of where they lived in Manila, and my heart started kind of breaking, and I knew what I was paying the company and what was making it to the VA, and I saw an opportunity to make some change. So this company is different than anything else that I've ever created. This company is really built on a mission of impacting people's lives.
Wow. Okay. That's good. That's really good. And it is interesting how the cost of living in a place like the Philippines is so low compared to the United States that a dollar spent in the Philippines goes much further than a dollar spent in the United States. And which is true in many countries that are economically not as far along as we are, or underdeveloped countries. You see that all the time. The dollar will go further in those other places. So now what you can do is you can hire very high quality staff and pay them a very good wage for their country, and they can live very, very well. But economically speaking, I don't know the ratio. So like making $100,000 in the US, what would be like an equivalent lifestyle of $100,000 a year in the Philippines?
So a $4,000 a year salary or $4,000 a month salary is considered rich in the Philippines. So I actually did research on this last night.
Okay.
So interesting that you're hitting on this. So 4,000, anything above 1,500 is you're in the upper class. So 1,500 a month. Give you an ideal average construction worker makes $250 a month. Average waiter makes $300.
See, that puts it in perspective, right? An average construction worker in the United States does not make $250 a month. They make thousands of dollars a month. And so average, okay. So that's interesting. So $1,500 a month would be like upper middle class in the Philippines.
Yes, but rapidly changing because the cost of living and the wages aren't quite meeting. So if you go to a McDonald's there, it's the same price as a McDonald's here. So Imagine making $1 a day and trying to go take a family of 4 to McDonald's.
Well, that's like a luxury meal price wise.
Yeah.
That's like 5-star, 2 Michelin star restaurant kind of thing here.
Yeah. So there's some comparables there, and a lot of the things are going up, but the economy or the prices are not. So you have inflation, higher cost of goods, but you still have low salaries. So this is where MyRA really comes in and steps up, and we comprehend. We aren't going at it for huge margins or huge profits that other staffing companies do. They normally try to work 38, 42% profits, where ours were much lower. We're really trying to put as much back into the people's hands as possible, so that we can recruit better, but we can also be impactful to their lives. So we get loyalty, and we just produce a better quality employee to the clients that we pair with.
So it sounds like, maybe it's a misunderstanding. Are you paying higher wages to the actual VAs than most companies?
Often 2 times or more than the average.
So you guys are the premium company to come work for if you're in the Philippines and want to be a VA.
Correct.
Yeah, when I've lived there the last 2 years, anytime that somebody heard what I was making, we're paying on par of what doctors, attorneys, engineers are making. Wow.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, something to understand is a lot of our VAs, they are supporting not just, their spouse and kids, it's their grandparents. It's like generations living under the same roof. And a lot of them, it's that one VA that's supporting the entire life for that family. And I remember the first time that my VA came to, was talking with me and saying, just thanking us for having hired her because she was finally able to build a house for her family. And,
wow.
And that's a huge impact. So for me, it's like, okay, this is what we're about. For Mike and Jeremy, they really started it as a passion project. And that's what attracted me really to MyRA Staffing as well, is the fact that they really want to put people above anything else. And the connections that they've created, they're lifetime connections. VAs, we have a pretty good retention rate, and they stay on for a good while, and because we treat them the right way.
Right. And if they don't connect well with a specific client, you can reassign them to another client, right?
Yes.
Like if I'm and this is actually true in all staffing environments, in my opinion, is that just because they weren't a good fit to be in my company doesn't mean they're a bad person. It means they might be a better fit in somebody else's company. And it's just kind of like matchmaking. It's almost like, well, you guys are like a matchmaking service, it's like dating, it's, if you're dating somebody and it's like, they may not be a good fit for you, but they're a better fit for somebody else. Right. And so if you guys have a pool of VAs and you're trying to matchmake them with clients, I don't know. I think that's interesting, especially you guys pay so well. I could imagine that they don't want to leave. I don't know. Like if you're paying them that well, I think that'd be a motivation for them to want to like really be a high performing person.
But that's where our assessments comes into, because matchmaking we'll try this. It's not trial by error. It's
right.
We're looking at assessments and are they a good fit for this type of position? Are they a good fit for what the client's looking for? And so we really take a strategic approach to making sure the client is getting the right VA.
Yeah, I love that. And yeah, so like I've worked with different VAs in the Philippines and other areas in that same region of the world. And I've had different ones that handled different projects for me. Some were better. Like I had one guy that did a lot of video editing and social media posting for me, but didn't really interact with anybody like directly. It was just me and him, and he was doing all the stuff for me for the video editing, the social media. But then I've had others that I had them helping me with phones, and like they were actually answering phone calls and interacting directly with my clients. And for them, it's like, okay, the guy that edits videos, like I don't really care how good his English is. I care how good his video editing skills are. And then with the girl that's answering the phone for me, like I care about like her English matters a whole lot more. Are those the kinds of things you're pre-screening for?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. That's awesome. What other things do you guys pre-screen for?
Well, we screen them first for a scheduler VA, because most of our clients are home inspection companies or pest control companies. So we screen them first on their English and their accent. And so we get voice recordings, and our clients can hear their voice recordings before they even conduct their client interviews. So we drop them if either's bad, then we go into the assessments, and then we go to the internal interviews, and then we go to the client interviews.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. So most of your clients are home inspectors and pest control. What other industries are you currently serving, and what industries are you looking to expand into?
That's a good one. Realtors, attorneys, insurance companies. We've had pool companies. So any service-based industry or small office or entrepreneur. We do have some clients that are using upwards of 20 plus VA, so some larger corporations as well. And then this in 2026, we're really starting to dive into the heavier skill sets. So
into the what?
The heavier skill sets. So bookkeepers, engineers, architects, legal assistants, medical assistants, stuff like that. So really getting into some like job specific skill sets.
Yeah. So after the first of the year, we're really going to start expanding, offering different types of VAs. So some things we'll be offering. Some people think that VA is just answer phones and book inspections. So we're going to expand that to, do you need a CRM specialist to build out your CRM? Do you need a bookkeeper to do your bookkeeping internally and maybe get your books done by the 8th of the month instead of the 25th of the month? Do you need an HR specialist? So basically anything you do on computer and phone, and you don't even need a phone. You can use Google Meet or Microsoft Team Meet or Zoom. A VA could do. And so we're kind of looking to expand, especially to these specialized skill areas. Do you need somebody that's an AI engineer? We could provide AI engineers for you. So a whole gambit of things, social media marketing. There's a whole array of VA positions that we'll be marketing after the first of the year.
All right. So you brought it up. I'm going to drill down on this one because you mentioned AI and what a lot of industries are being disrupted by AI. In fact, I've literally seen companies advertising AI receptionists that answer your phone for you and can do all the things that claim to do all the things that you guys are doing with actual human staff. What is going to stop AI from just replacing your entire company?
Who wants to take it? So, all right, I'll take part of that. So is it disrupting? 100%. And so we're just like any other business, you have to pivot. You have to figure out how to work with. And so the way that we see it is AI won't replace the VA. AI is a powerful tool, but tools don't replace people. And so we still need people to make these tools useful. And so currently, and this could be, 6 months from now, could be 2 years from now, we don't know how fast a voice agent, for example, will be able to take on a full, or you'll be able to integrate an AI agent to, book an entire inspection, let's say. So right now, the different softwares that are out there, they don't allow it. They don't like to play with other programs, other platforms. And so, and most likely their own AI won't be that developed. And so we're still going to need to utilize VAs. We're still going to need to utilize people. And so we really see that AI is just a tool like anything else. And so we will have to adapt. We will have to figure out, which other industries we can go into. But the reality is you will never be able to eliminate 100% people.
There's a great analogy I heard the other day. When the advent of the electric drill did not replace the carpenter, what it did was it sped up the work that he could perform in a single day. And so AI is a multiplier. It doesn't necessarily is going to replace people. What it's going to do is going to be a tool to be able to speed up the results and efforts that person can't produce.
Got it. And so I've seen that, right? And as a home inspection company owner myself, I've been watching the AI and I've realized, okay, AI can't replace the actual guy walking through the house, climbing onto into the attic. AI can't replace a dude in a crawl space. You just can't replace that. We're a long ways away from a humanoid robot climbing through the attic and through onto the roof and any like that. That's so far out in the future that, I don't know how far out that is, but AI tools are coming into place in my industry, and you literally can't replace the person who is getting into the crawl space. I see that, and I will say this, I don't know if people, it's going to happen where AI, like receptionists, I think will start to answer the questions and start to help guide people through. But just, I don't know about you guys, just as a personal human being, every time I pick up the phone, I call a company, it's like press 1 for this, press 2 for that. And it's like trying to get through a phone tree. It's about 3 buttons in somewhere. I'm like, screw this. I want to talk to a real person. This is frustrating. I just want to talk to an actual human. And I actually think the AI receptionist thing is going to be a similar thing where it's going to be, talking to a robot again. Can I just talk to a real person? Just like we do now with the actual voice, like the actual phone trees that we have to deal with. I don't know, man. Like I see AI the same way you do, Jeremy, in the sense that it's a tool that will accelerate and make individuals more productive. And rather than having 10 staff to put this thing together, you now need 3 staff because they have power drills and electric tools and nail guns versus hammering it in by hand. Because right, you say if you're framing a house or building a house, nail guns didn't replace the man, just made the man faster and more efficient. And it took less men to then build the house than it did before, and less men can go faster because of the tools. That's what's going to happen in AI, in my opinion. I don't know if it replaces everything, but how does AI make what you guys do more efficient? What tools, and how does that, like maybe it isn't today, but in the vision of the future, where do you see AI helping your company become more efficient?
And that's a tough one. It's across all branches. I mean, your marketing, your operations, your streaming, lines of communication, how communication is going out internally and externally. AI is automating those processes. Still has to have some manual entry and oversight, but it's going to automate those internal operation processes for a lot of companies.
Where I see AI like working for MyRA in particular, like internally, is going to be on the automation of bringing on VAs from one side and then matching them with the client on the other side. And then streamlining that whole process to where there's less of a human input in the beginning. Towards the end of the selection, we'll still need the people. The true interview will still need to happen. And so we'll still need people to make sure that we have the right fit. But what I'm seeing AI work with is the automation of certain low-level tasks. That's going to be a win for anybody in any industry. And so it frees up the VA really to handle the higher-level revenue-generating work, not only for MyRA internally, but also for the clients ultimately. And so it's just the speed of information. And also probably the accuracy. There's less bias in the early phases until you get to the point where, okay, now we need human interaction.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. This AI world is pretty fascinating to see how it's going to come in and disrupt every industry. It already is starting to disrupt industries. And I think it's going to come faster than most people believe it is.
Oh, it is. And we're finding that with some of our vendors now. We're looking for vendors for global payroll, and they have some very AI-driven solutions for recruiting, applicant tracking systems that it's going to really help us streamline our processes and become much more efficient than what we're doing today.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's incredible. I think as a home inspector, I'm looking for ways for AI to, make my job, my business run more efficiently, run, faster, more streamlined, more accurate. Oftentimes, AI can help increase accuracy on the different things that we're working on. I'm always looking for ways to improve that. Yeah. And I, obviously I think that, obviously AI can't replace the dude walking through the house doing the inspection, but AI loaded software, some of this report writing software that's out there, people are starting to integrate AI little snippets to it. I can see the guy in the field having an iPad at some point being able to turn the camera on and just scan the water heater up and down, and it's going to automatically pull the nameplate decode it, tell you known defects, tell you what the lifespan, that average, that unit, industry, like, because right now we say, well, the industry average for water heaters is, but it might pull up that specific unit and be like, oh, this is the make and model. These units are lasting about this long. Or, you know what I mean? Like I see AI like getting more specific with those types of things. I could see AI cameras being able to say, this is what it noted. It noted the corrosion on the back of the pipe. It noted this. It noted the water stains on the plywood underneath of the water heater or whatever it might be. I could see how AI would then scan it and note a lot of the defects for you. But you still have to have a guy with knowledge to go out there with the camera and to be able to scan it the right way so that they grabs, you know, but so it's not going to replace it, but I could see AI accelerating the job for the home inspector. And the skill level of the home inspector still needs to be there. You still need to know what the heck you're looking at, but I think it's going to allow them to maybe increase accuracy. I don't know. It's like another set of eyeballs looking at it with you.
Yeah. Going back to your earlier comments about answering phones and will AI replace the AI receptionist?
Yeah.
So what AI cannot do is a couple of things. I haven't seen AI show empathy yet. And AI doesn't connect with the customer's pain points and what they're feeling and what they're struggling with. And so that's what a VA can do. The other thing is AIs don't have associative memory. So with humans, we're thinking one thing, but something out of the clear blue pops into our head. And it may be related to what we're thinking about, or maybe not be related, but that's associative thinking. AI doesn't do that, but people does do that. So we're talking about electrical panels. Something clicks in and says, "Oh, do you know about Federal Pacific panels?" You know, and so it's that associative recall, that associative memory that AI is not quite there yet.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because you're right about the empathy thing, and you're right about the connections. And AI only knows what we program it to know. Yeah. And like AI doesn't create new. Like it's not. If AI is going to create something new, the only thing it has is to pull from is existing things that exist to be able to create a new thing out of the existing data points. But it can't create something out of nothing. Humanity still has that creation power inside of it. Human beings still have that creative nature inside of it to be able to create. And you know, and not to take it down a religious spin, but you know, I'm a Christian, and I think in previous conversations you guys might be as well. And so whether you're a Christian or not, but you look at the foundation of even the Christian faith in the Bible, God created the heavens and the earth right in the beginning, and then he made mankind in the image and likeness of God. I think we have a God-given, a divine gift, whether you believe in God or you call it the universe or you just call this just what it is. There's a spiritual side of all beings, and human beings have that spiritual side of us that AI doesn't have. And that spiritual side of us does lend itself to a creativity that AI can't. It just isn't there. And I don't know if it ever will have that ability. I mean, I don't know. You never know what it may or may not get to, but humanity right now, we have, I think, a supernatural spiritual side of us that is creative, that does bring things like empathy and does bring other things to the table that AI just doesn't. And I don't know if it ever will.
Yeah, most likely not. And, you know, that brings us back to the reason why Mike and Jeremy started MyRA Staffing. You know, it is that empathy for people. Like, all right, we want to treat the VAs well. We want to make sure that they thrive and not just survive. And AI wouldn't be able to do that.
Right.
And, you know, the VAs that we place with other companies, there is that empathy. So every day, you know, the companies are working with an employee. They're not working with, you know, a robot. So they can communicate, they can laugh with, they can say jokes, they can cry with, they can tell them, hey, I'm so sorry for the loss of your family member. So there is that connection that AI just will not bring, at least not now. And you need the reality. We're people, and we need connection. And
absolutely,
connection, we're just dead. And so we need that human connection, that aspect of being able to deal with people. And you said it best a while ago, where, you know, you hate the phone trees. It's like if I have to press one more keypad, I'm hanging up. I just want to talk to somebody. And that's why I don't think that the VA world is going to disappear. AI is just going to speed it up, is going to improve the services that we are able to offer. And most likely it's going to increase the value of the VA in the sense that AI is going to handle the low level work and allow the VAs to grow, themselves into something that they're going to have to build up. So does that mean they need to go back to school, get higher education? Does MyRA need to create new training in order to allow these VAs to have a better understanding and better qualifications at a higher level within a company? We don't know, but that's where we really see the industry going.
Yeah, I do see what you're saying there. Yeah, because there's got to be that human side of it. I've had some experience with VAs, and I've worked with different like staffing companies, much like MyRA. I have not had the pleasure of working with MyRA yet. You guys have been around for 3 years, but I'd love to share a quick story because I hired a call center service that was a VA type company. They had all their employees located around the United States, and so there were U.S. employees versus international employees. But through the course of my journey there was a gal that was on my team within that company and answering our phones. That was phenomenal. She was outstanding, just a delight, really a great fit culturally for our company. And so one day Michelle wasn't working at that company anymore. And somebody in our company had gotten her cell phone number somewhere. And so when she had stopped working for the other company, I literally reached out directly to her and I was like, hey, what's going on? And she was like, yeah, well, it's okay. Company's making changes and just not a good fit for me anymore. And I'm like, God, that makes sense. I was like, where are you working? She's like, I don't know. How would you feel working for us directly? And so I ended up hiring this gal, Michelle, and we brought her on directly. And Michelle is right now, she is my operations director. And I have met Michelle one time face to face. It was years after she was working for us. We had a company barbecue. And when I met her, she was living back east. And then she moved to Oklahoma, and she currently lives in Oklahoma now. And she's a phenomenal person, brilliant, hardworking, just a perfect fit for our company. But yeah, so working with someone virtually, like never met, ended up working her way up, getting promoted from different positions, ends up becoming the operations director for the company. I still had not met her face to face at that point in time because she lived somewhere else in the country. Proximity does not equal competency, right? Proximity it's crazy sometimes. Like I'm 47, right? And so for me, it's always been like, well, I want to hire the person in front of me. Like if I can see them, well, if they live 3 states away, well, that doesn't work for me, right? You got to live here to work here. Well, guess what? You don't have to live here to work here. And so when you kind of get your mind wrapped around that, then all of a sudden it's like, well, someone could live in another state and work remote. Well, if they could live in another state and work remote, they could live in another country and work remote as well. And so the day that I met Michelle face to face, we flew her in. We had a company barbecue at my house. And so all the staff, their families were all coming over, doing a big cookout. And I flew Michelle in for the cookout and didn't tell anybody. And so I went and picked her up at the airport, brought her back to the house. She's hanging out in the kitchen, and she's just hanging out. And so staff start showing up and a couple, 3 of them are there. And I was like, hey guys, how you guys doing? I was like, oh, have you guys met Michelle yet? And they're like, no, hi, I'm Danny. And Michelle's like, well, hi, Danny. And she's like, the Michelle, and the whole staff freaked out and they all got to meet her. And it was like this awesome, fun experience. And it just made the whole party so much better to have to fly her in. And that's the only time I've met her face to face. After that, we just work remote and life is fantastic. I don't know. I just, I guess I would just say to those who maybe are skeptical of like, I don't know about this remote work. I'm not sure about this VA thing. I promise you it works. And so many companies use VAs for so many different things. It's just hiring another employee through a staffing agency. And it doesn't matter if they live 2 streets away from you or, halfway around the globe. People are people. Competency is competency. Intelligence is intelligence. And there are hardworking people that you can bless their life working through a staffing company like MyRA, because like, man, okay, instead of paying I'm going to make up numbers, $100,000 a year for someone in the United States to have the competency and skills that you need. You can pay them $30,000 or $40,000 a year. I don't know what the real numbers are for the same skills for someone in a different country, but that $30,000 to $40,000 a year, they live like kings over there. And so it's not shortchanging them. It's blessing them in a way that you could never bless somebody in the United States. It's, I don't know. I'm probably putting I sound like the CEO of MyRA.
So. You're right. The reason why, Jeremy and we started a conversation back in 2023 was because I was so tired and I needed somebody to help me, grow my inspection business, but at the leadership level. And he's the one who approached me and said, hey, do you know that we can place VAs that are leadership level? And that was the first time that I had heard of that or even thought about, wait a minute, you don't just hire VAs to answer phones and book jobs? He goes, no. We can find you highly skilled CEOs, GMs. Like at Redfish Inspections, our growth manager, she's a VA. She lives in the Philippines, and she's the manager of your growth department. Yeah. And she's doing an amazing job, and she has the respect of everybody over there as well as here. And so we're people, so it doesn't matter where we live. So long as we're highly skilled, we can, that's the beauty of technology. And if COVID did one thing really good to the world is being able to connect people even more so through technology. And it allow us, this remote work, that we were forced into. And so now instead of rejecting it, we just have to embrace it and really see, I don't need to live here in order to work there.
Right.
So, I'm starting to enjoy more and more the virtual staffing world, and I've only been in it for a few months now.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, the one thing that I get it all the time. Like I have realtors that will ask me about Michelle. They'll be like, I've never met Michelle. Does she ever come out with you to any of these events? And I'd be like, no, she doesn't. She's just buried in her office working away. And like we keep the door locked. And like she can't come out. And like I'll joke around about that, and it's like and they just laugh around. And I said, actually, I'll let you in on a secret. She's like, she doesn't live here. And they're like, what? It's like yeah, she's only been to Albuquerque one time. And I flew her in for one time to meet all the staff at one point. And they're like, where does she live? And I was like, you guess, where do you think she lives? And they're like, I have no idea, and so it's like, yes, she lives in Oklahoma right now. And so, but people had no idea. They have no idea. Yeah. You just got to teach them some, like every city has some nuance. Every town has some nuance. So you got to teach them some of the cultural things, and you got to teach them some of that. And then, and the VA needs to also do a little bit of homework on their own to kind of understand that as well. Right. Like we have a mountain range to the east of our city. It's beautiful. It's right there. It's almost like a cliff face, something that's next to the city. It's beautiful if you've never been to Albuquerque. And so this, the Sandia mountain range, Sandia is Spanish for watermelon because it turns pink in the sunset. When the sunset hits just right, the mountain looks pink. They call it Watermelon Mountain or Sandia Mountain. And so so a little bit of that going on, right? So educating VAs on, I learned that. Educating VAs on some of the local landmarks and some of the local sayings, and then how to say some of the streets, because I'm in New Mexico, lots of Spanish and like Spanglish type mix of Spanish and English kind of stuff that goes on around here, and having to educate them on, not just English, but kind of the Spanglish stuff and even the Spanish stuff a little bit. But I don't know, there's always a little bit of like every city has some nuance, but teaching your VA some of the cultural stuff, all of a sudden they fit right in, and people have no idea they don't even live here. It's great.
Yeah.
That's a benefit with VAs from the Philippines is they have such a large occupation by Spain. A lot of it has a very heavy Spanish influence as well. So a lot of those things like in your area, they're going to relate to.
Every VA that I've had from the Philippines related to it very quickly, and I never understood that. I did not know about the Spanish occupation. That's interesting.
They're very, they have cities that are old Spanish towns that are really pretty and beautiful, and have that old architecture and stuff. But it's a very, it's a part of their history after them, Japan, and then us, U.S. was the last occupier. But they have so Spain left its footprint on the Philippines, but they're also very Americanized because of we occupied that country for years as well. So very into our culture as well. So they understand kind of both. Within the U.S., that's really important, understanding Spanish culture and American culture, because it's such a diverse country. That's probably the two biggest influences. And we do have can provide the Spanish-speaking VAs as well.
Yeah, I want to touch in on that culture since this is that associative side working on me. Part of the culture in the Philippines is they're very family oriented. We'll mention that you'll have several generations living in the same house.
Yeah.
And that creates a very tight family knit environment. And family relationships is really important, much more important than they are in the U.S. The other thing is their work ethic. Their work ethic far surpasses the American work ethic now. And I hate to say that, but it's the reality. They have a very high work ethic. And so when you get a VA from us, you're going to get somebody with a high work ethic.
Yeah, I've noticed that too with VAs from the Philippines, the work ethic side and the family side too. I mean, they stick together. I think in the United States, we have like this independent thing, this independent streak inside of us where we want to have our independence and we want to have our freedom and we want to have all that. And it looks like Will logged out. Maybe he had a meeting to get to, huh? I don't know. He disappeared. He'll come back maybe. We'll see. You got to love technology, right? Yeah. It's just like there was 4 of us and all of a sudden now there's 3. The internet has its ways. That's so funny. And Will's back. All right. We love it.
All right, guys.
The internet has its ways. That's so funny. Like it was like, all right, there was 4, now there's 3, and now there's 4 again. That's great. There's no covering up that we're recording this through the internet. So that's so funny. Yeah. Anybody watching is gonna be like, wait, what happened? I love it. Well, guys, so MyRA Staffing is doing a good thing. I like how you're hiring better and you're paying more, which means you're going to get on higher end. And this is the same in the United States. When you pay more, you can be more selective because more people want the job. You have higher quality candidates that you can recruit, which I think is pretty fantastic.
Absolutely.
So I imagine people are going to have questions, right? People who are getting involved in staffing, or maybe they're looking for VAs. Maybe they have questions about what kind of VAs are out there. And I think there's going to be people who've never used a virtual assistant or used a staffing company like yours that would be interested and have questions. And I think there's going to be people out there who maybe are using a staffing company, but are looking for a better solution. If they're looking to get a hold of you, what's the best way for someone to get in contact with you guys?
So the best way is send an email to will@myrastaffing.com. Or you can send it to mike@myrastaffing.com or jeremy@myrastaffing.com.
Okay.
You can also go to our website and go to the contact form and just send us an inquiry that way.
Okay.
Or you can call us. Our toll-free number is 855-903-2882. And so that's the other way you can approach us.
Love it. All right. So we got the website, email, phone number, and you guys are going to answer their questions and help people get connected to high quality VAs that can help them grow their business. Guys, thank you so much for being on the show. This has been fantastic. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope you guys have a fantastic week. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Thank you. It's been a great time being here as well.
Enjoyed it.
Thanks.